Welcome, everyone. It's Thomas Watson, trucking expert here at FreightWaves for a special edition of Loaded and Rolling the Show. We do it live. We are doing it live at the Future of Supply Chain here in Atlanta, Georgia. Going to be a great conversation today. Shout out to our sponsor for this Lean Solutions Group. We'll throw up the logo and all that stuff a little bit later. We're going to be welcoming on Tyler Harden. He's with TTN Fleet Solutions, Chief Product Officer and board member. Before we dive in, really awesome to have you back on. Got to speak to you at one of our summits. For folks who are not familiar, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Well, first off, thanks. Awesome little show here in Atlanta. So it's a great venue, which I like. But yeah, so a little bit about me, Tyler Harden. Yeah, I'm with TTN Fleet Solutions. So my role at the company is kind of strategy, product. I work closely with our technology teams and then our kind of product management, customer management group.
Yeah.
And we provide kind of on-demand maintenance, towing, truck repair, road service, emergency, 365 days a year. 24 hours a day out there helping drivers on the roadside.
Well, it's one thing to haul the loads, but it's another thing to work on, what happens when it breaks down. It's not a matter of if, but it's a matter of when. And you all recently made some cool changes as well, management, the board. Tell us a little bit about that, making some moves.
Yeah, really excited. So towards the end of 2023, into 2024, we did kind of a management buyout style thing, and so allowed some of the executives to come in and participate a little bit more. And so we're really excited about our strategy for 24, and culture's really supercharged and kind of ready for the challenges that come, and looking to bring new products to the industry.
Well, the strategy is fun because we are seeing, now I was familiar with the tractor, all these things have sensors, but additionally, when you're looking at fleet solutions, trailers, they're becoming sexy now. They used to not be. Tell us about some of that, because a lot of the folks I feel like are focused so much on the load issue, they're forgetting that the back end and the actual equipment is getting just as sophisticated.
Yeah, sure. So like supply chain, right? We're the future supply chain here. So if you look at the box trailers and the drop yards and things like that, they're very integral in supply chain. And so there are some companies that are coming out, really exciting stuff with kind of IoT platforms, but also telematics that are on the trailers that are actually reporting maintenance events, which is pretty interesting. And so these larger carriers, there's quite a few pilots that are happening right now, and they're seeing quite a few readings coming from those trailers: tires, lights, brakes, all those kinds of things. So we're starting to take some of the technology advancements from the trucks and putting them on the trailers, which is interesting.
And is it, were the trailers, is it like a black box now within the trailer, or do you have to still connect to it to like touch base?
Nah, these things are super advanced. You can see them, you can look at the readouts, look at the digital readouts and stuff like that. So there's quite a few of them that are on the market that are coming out, and they're in a test phase, but exciting for sure.
And I think it's fascinating because it's one thing for a maintenance program when you have the dashboards on the tractor. I got my BPM, my PM reports, I need to route in, I know that the intervals. But for the trailer, it may be stuck at a Walmart DC, an Amazon DC. What happens with that? Because you're getting this trailer talking to you, but how do you respond to the trailer?
Yeah, I think that's gonna be kind of the next case challenge for large carriers that are looking to employ those technologies, is the service execution. And so that's going to be part of our strategy as we move forward, is providing that service execution for those types of events.
And when that happens, I always was curious, because when I saw breakdown events, sometimes you would try to get the shipper to fix it, and you're like, this is part of your pool. Sometimes the shipper says, well, it's your trailer parked at my thing, you need to send someone. Like, what the heck goes on with that now that you actually can find out what's actually going on with the trailer?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's always the whodunit, right, or the he said, right? So, I mean, if you look at this, what we try to do is try to be available to anybody that needs that help, and it doesn't really matter if it's a shipper or a broker or a carrier that needs help. I think they all want to kind of point fingers in some cases, depending on who's got the load. But I think you partner with somebody that can be kind of agnostic to who's bringing in the maintenance request and just kind of be the service execution on it for sure.
And then that's part where you all come in as well.
Yep.
For fleets, is that something that small fleets, large fleets, what's the kind of profile of folks that you're looking at or looking to expand?
Well, right now, I mean, our mix is predominantly larger fleets, but small fleets, regionalized. I mean, you've got some background about regionalized fleets where you got to deal with the shipments and talk to the drivers, but then if something happens, you also have to be that guy that knows the answers too. So it kind of transcends through different sizes of carriers for sure.
And then looking at as well, like the challenges, I know that the state of driver support and maintenance, one of the things I've noticed when I was at a smaller fleet is that it does feel like there's not a uniform way of detecting issues. But now with the technology, it's getting good. Is there any challenges trying to get the driver to utilize the tech to help them actually catch it versus fat fingering it and just like, oh, it's fine?
Yeah, there's, if you've not been in a 2024 Freightliner Cascadia lately, I would suggest that you do. And it's not just Freightliner itself, but there's so much technology that's in these trucks, and so the drivers are getting a lot of readouts. And so, like in a breakdown event, we talk to breakdown departments or we'll talk to maintenance managers, but the drivers got all the information that we need. So putting in technology in their hands, or at least allowing them a communication path to communicate what's really truly going on with the truck on the roadside, it's gold. It's the best way to do it.
I've seen a few makers try to do that for the telematics. Like imagine your Omnitrack, Samsaras, your Motives. Their goals are trying to package it up to when a roadside event happens, you have the VIN, make, model, mileage, data's immediately being shot up. Is that something that when you're looking at from a solutions provider, is that on the cutting edge of the event horizon here in terms of we need to start trying to integrate that into our ops and systems?
Yeah, I'll give you an example. We've got a fleet right now that is utilizing platform science.
Yeah.
What we did was we built some technology in the marketplace of platform science to allow the driver to have a nice little call entry form app. Gives them feedback back and forth of communication, and so getting that input is there. And then there's so many different platforms that are out there. You mentioned a couple of them, and they all have the same technology. It's just leveraging it in the right way to make the driver feel comfortable on the roadside when they're in a breakdown event, because that's a big thing.
Yeah.
But then also just that uptime. Getting there as quick as I can, getting that information back as fast as we can so that we can find a service provider that's going to help.
How do you tackle the uptime issue? Because they always say like 60 to 90 minutes. Yeah. Everyone just says that. You call up a Love's or something and you never really know. Is there any way with the tech platform to actually figure out if it's not just 60 to 90 minutes? Because I feel like that's a pain point where like even a provider or a driver, sometimes you all feel like you don't have that visibility, like when you're actually going to be here.
So we have set SLAs in house that we achieve, right, and that we're looking for uptime. But for us, it's really just transparency and visibility to actually what's going on. Because I feel like if you actually know what the time is going to be, then you can plan a little bit better. And it's not always 60 to 90. Could be 30 minutes. Could be 15 minutes. The guy could be right around the corner.
Yeah.
Or it could be a little longer if it's a weather event or any of those types of situations out there. There's a lot of variables roadside, as you probably know.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious as well, are you seeing, being involved in the trenches, seeing what kind of calls for service, is there anything that's kind of stuck out to you over the years that you're seeing more of that maybe folks aren't as familiar with?
Yeah, it's regular scheduled maintenance. That's really what it comes down to. It's staying on top of those things that are there. Obviously, as trucks get more advanced, it's electronics and things like that. But it's interesting because the trends of VMRS coding, right?
Yeah.
Repair standards are not changing too much. It's brakes, lights, tires. It's those types of things that are continuing to show up. And it's something that a driver, but also a fleet, has control of to a certain extent to maintain those items.
Yeah, and I was curious with the PM schedules because I wonder if the market being the way it is, fleets are pushing that out and it's biting them in the butt. And then you're getting roadside calls where it's like, you're like in the red, you should have addressed this, but now you have no money, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah, I mean, we've done a really good job to try and control cost across the network, right?
Yeah.
And so even if it's on-demand maintenance, that's my coin term, is the kind of that on-demand maintenance, it's okay because we can identify certain things and then we even schedule through to try and get that driver or that truck to a maintenance facility to get the the regular scheduled maintenance completed that might impact that breakdown.
I'm kind of curious as well. I always had issues with my drivers. They'd idle and it'd gunk up their filters, and then next thing you know, they're trying to do a region, but the region's not working, so you're calling roadside.
Yep.
Like, is that something where we're looking ahead? I know there's some EPA rulings that they want to reduce. I think they're just adding an extra NOx sensor. I think it's like 2 NOx sensors. Honest to God, like they're
more
like
sensors.
Yeah, there's going to be, instead of 1 urea-filled box, you get 2 urea-filled boxes. You know, as a maintenance standpoint, is that something that we're looking into, like long term? I know it's something that the year models aren't out yet, model year 27. Is that something we're chattering about as well?
Sure. I mean, with emissions, it's been a big thing in our industry for a long time. You know, people that are outside of the industry, I start talking to them about the emissions, and they're like, I don't understand. Why is that a thing? And you know, I think it's important, but also from a maintenance perspective, you know, a lot of these manufacturers have done some regular scheduled stuff that it's smart to do. Idle time is the killer, though. It's the worst. It's the worst thing that you can do. So if you can minimize your idle time, not only are you saving money, cost per mile, all that kind of stuff, but you're also saving that regenerative stuff that you really don't want to deal with roadside.
And I wonder that, because I see APUs as a solution, but a lot of fleets can't afford it, or the APU screws up and you have to fix the APU. Is that something where, as a roadside event, is that adding extra dynamics to it? It's like, well, I fixed the idling issue, but now this APU needs to go to a Thermo King. I got to deal with that.
So look, we in our network, our provider network, we have all those different services that we have to deal with, because our promise is making sure that we're taking care of that driver roadside. And so if it's something that needs to be done roadside, then we'll have a solution for it. But a lot of the times, you know, you go out, you make sure that they can get to a safe place, safe haven, we call it, or back to a shop to get that stuff worked on.
And looking at a strategy standpoint, I feel like all this data is coming available, but being the provider in a position where you can find locations, is that something you're looking ahead to see? Why am I getting clusters of roadside calls at this location among a specific fleet or a bundle of fleets? Is that kind of the next frontier for the offerings?
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. As we go into our strategy, you know, we've been collecting data for almost 12 years now on breakdowns all over the country, in different modes of weather and stuff like that. And I think in this, you know, going towards 2025, I think you'll see us probably look at how we can leverage that data to identify some of the hot spots and then understand some of the trends.
Yeah, I feel like the truck should tell me, hey, I'm not feeling good, boss, but stay away from Ontario. Let me get to Hesperia, and I've got a better, because the AI now can tell you average wait time, average service time, average call time. Is that kind of the future of maintenance, where the truck's like, hey, I need to call out of work, but it's going to take a day?
The truck calling out?
Or the trailer's calling out. It's like, I'm not feeling too well. I'm at the receiver.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we need to talk about the rise of employment of trucks and trailers, but yes, I think you'll be able to. The data will tell a story. Data always tells a story. So if you're willing to listen and understand, I think you can start looking for those trends.
Because like I've run into that with drivers. Drivers is the pain point. Drivers get busy. Drivers don't take 10 minutes. You tell them to take this time. They don't take the time, and then they complain because now we have to go to a roadside solution because we didn't do our jobs right. And you know, do you think that also that's something moving forward that we need to like have apps? Is there mobile apps? Is there other things like a TTS app that we need to look, or you know, integrate and get that going? Because that's my biggest challenge. That my wife works at a fleet, and I hear it all the time. And it's like a smaller fleet, and I'm just like, there's got to be a better way.
Yeah. So as far as, you know, technology solutions for that type of maintenance offering, you know, for us, we're really pushing out web apps. You know, downloading an app on your phone through the Google Play Store or the App Store for driver fleet it's a hard adoption, right? And so what we want to do is make sure that we can employ technology where people want to use it. That's texting. May seem basic, but it's the quickest. And you know, I don't know about you, but I love text. I can.
Yeah, the SMS giving you a heads up.
It's the quickest form of communication right now that we have. So I think that we're going to leverage some of that workflow stuff and be able to push that across. And that's what we do today. We've got some automations that go out. You know, we're communicating with the on-site technician, the driver, the maintenance shop, the maintenance manager, back to the carrier, back to the fleet, maybe to a shipper. Lots of different areas that we.
But as the order updates and the order status progression, the text messages help the drivers out as well, because I've had the same issue with apps. We talk to companies, they're like, well, I've got another great app, and then the driver has like 12 brokered apps.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's just not a good user experience. And the drivers hopefully don't have to use it all the time. So, to download an app for something that you hopefully don't have to use, it's kind of counterintuitive. So I think that what we're going to do is, we'll see that technology kind of flow out through what we have in our offering for TT.
Yeah. I mean, we're coming up midway through the year of 2024. What are some of your biggest thoughts as we're coming into the end? I know 2025, we're seeing the technology and other aspects. Like, talk about what's on the horizon and the time frame from a strategic standpoint.
Yeah, so you've got alternative fuels coming, right? So there's lots of things about that regarding maintenance and stuff, and EVs are looking to try and lower the overall maintenance cost. I'm a little skeptical on that, but I think it might impact a little bit. I believe towing is going to be more impactful with alternative fuels, because there's, I think I was looking at, if you look at a Tesla, there's 20 things that are points of failure, but one of those 20 things fail and you're done.
Yeah.
Versus there's 200 or 300 outputs to a truck now. So I think if you look at that, towing is going to be kind of something that's...
Well, they're heavier too. The battery packs are like 2,000-3,000 pounds heavier. So I wonder if the towing companies and then the providers who work with the towing companies, do you need like the extra big rig to like pull these Teslas?
They're not any heavier, but there is some specialized towing equipment that you'll need to use, certain drive axles, specialized towing procedures, and knowing how to do it so you don't damage them.
Yeah.
Is kind of a big thing. So as the strategy goes to the end of the year, and in through 2025, it'll be definitely looking at how do we adjust our maintenance processes, but also help our service providers understand the new technology that's coming out with the alternative fuel trucks.
And I spoke with the folks in Nikola. They have the battery electric Nikola. They have the hydrogen Nikola. Is that something where when you see these manufacturers announcing it, are they getting with you all, the providers, folks who are actually in the know on the repairing, or is it right now it's still focused on, hey, please buy this, let's check it out? Like, is the data and the stuff coming out there in terms of how to actually maintain it, tow it, work on it?
There are some towing procedures. Some manufacturers are better than others, but there is a gap in the ability to share information to a maintenance provider, and a lot of these companies need or should have some maintenance backup for roadside. I think they do regular scheduled maintenance, and that's kind of the easy plug. But that roadside can be a challenge. I mean, you got to use these things. Hopefully, you're moving freight with them.
Yeah.
And it's going to break down.
So we're in the early stages, because for a lot of them, you haven't used them enough to have enough breakdowns to develop the procedures to like handle this thing.
Yep.
And then, they don't want to just put it out there, because I could pull the manufacturer saying, hey, this thing could like brick itself and,
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of an industry thing. It's like, when in doubt, tow it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it's stuff like that. It just depends on what the overall intent is for the carrier. If they want load continuation and getting that thing down the road, or getting to a safe haven, there's an easy solution there, and so we'll see as those technologies advance, and we're getting different inputs. Hopefully, we can get inputs just like we're doing on the trailer stuff, in order to kind of make those decisions, but then apply a service execution.
That's what I was curious about, because the points of failure are lower on these battery electric because of the drivetrain differences and everything. But then with the hydrogen, the other ones, like, that can only imagine being a complex thing to digest, because it's like, now the question for roadside is, what kind of truck do you have?
Yeah. Now we ask fuel type.
What kind of fuel? Yeah.
That's kind of a big thing.
So is there different diesel? I heard there's like different I mean, I know ultra low sulfur diesel, but the hydrogen folks, somebody told me there's like 3 different types of hydrogen. They have different colors. You got to fuel at the right hydrogen pump. Like, is that something you're talking about, the fuel? Like,
the demand for that right now is not very high. So, there's not a lot of emphasis on it. But, this industry has gone through a rapid change in technology on trucks, and we've done well to kind of adjust, and I'm excited about what's happening in the future for sure.
So for fleets who are looking to get into it, like finding out, let's get started with a roadside provider, what are the first steps they need to look into? Because coming from my personal experience, I would love to go to a part where I stop having to be the roadside person, and I can focus back onto handling driver issues and have the driver be put in good hands and then be updated.
Well, first and foremost, TTN can supply all that, number one. But if you're just looking for, exploring what you can do with roadside maintenance. The thing is to select a partner that's going to be able to be nimble to your workflows or kind of your business and what's important to you. So if it's price or speed, or if it's load deliveries, those types of things, and then how is your makeup? Do you have third-party carriers? How are they managing maintenance? Do you leasing side of the business? Those types of things. We've formulated programs specific for those types of different verticals in the carrier space.
So there's modular options,
Yeah.
because I can imagine, like, if I lease purchase and owner operators and company drivers, I'm assuming you need a solution over each one. You can't just do it all the same because of their stuff.
Yeah. Really, it all comes down to who's responsible for the bill. Who's paying the bill? That's the question.
Always the question.
Yeah. So I mean, for us, we've been able to build multiple payees. We can split invoices. There's a lot of different things that we've done for carriers that are unique to their business, but also something that we can employ other places.
And I wanted a more personal question. You had some awesome experience, especially in schooling, getting a degree in diesel technology. People talk about a technician shortage here. Is this something, being on the front lines, do you hear these shops and stuff saying, like, I'm struggling right now, this is going to take a lot longer because they just don't have any people?
Yeah, no, I love this topic. I've got a daughter that just turned 15. And so she's looking at colleges, and 4-year, and they were talking about it on the stage. David Bell, Lean Solutions, was talking about it on the stage with Craig. And, for me, I love technical school. And I think that if you can do something with your hands and you can have a trade, it's something that, for me, I use the problem-solving skills of diagnosing a truck in regular business. And so it's just huge life lessons that you learn when you're in there. And so Universal Technical Institute was a great experience for me, and really kind of just foundationalized what I'm doing in my life. And I can take my hands-on experience, but also move it into our product development. And I know what it's like to be a technician roadside. I know what it's like to be a technician in the shop. So those types of things are powerful, I believe, when you're looking at strategy or looking at solutions. Having
that ground level. There's a great billboard. It was like, Chat GPT, change my tire. And it just had the dot.
That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Who knows? But yeah, maybe. I mean, for us, if you look at the construction industry and look at, somebody that, is a framer, right, or a roofer, I think our youth and our generation that's coming up, nobody thinks that they want to be in there, but it's going to be a very valuable situation to put yourself in if you can do those types of things and you know how to do those things.
Yeah, we're going to see an increase not only in trades, but I'm assuming also skilled drivers, because
absolutely,
being able to operate the truck now is almost like a quasi. It's not like the old days where you just pop the hood and you know how to do it. Like, you got to be able to be nimble.
Yeah, we have some amazing drivers. I've met drivers all over the country in all different types of vocations, and they're all incredibly intelligent. And it's really cool to see their background, their history, their experience, and why they're on the road. I think their why is really important. So I love that. I love drivers and what they do and what they do for us and the supply chain and the entire T&L market. I mean, it's awesome.
It's fun. Well, I appreciate your time. It's always good to catch up. Folks want to learn more about TTN, get in contact. Best way to find out.
Yeah, so contact me directly. We're a small shop, but I'm here. I'd love to help, love to talk about your strategy for the future of maintenance.
Perfect. Tyler, really appreciate your time. Check them out, TTN Solutions. Speaking of time, we got a little bit of time left, but coming up, let me pull it up here on the schedule here. We will have an episode of Freightonomics, Tony Mulvey, Zach Strickland, and then we're going to have on this FreightWaves TV stage the folks from Univar System. So a lot of good stuff coming up, additionally on the main stage. If you're just catching us on this loaded and rolling episode, we're on Apple and Spotify and YouTube. Even though this is a live stream, I love the technology here. We'll get around so you can find it. It'll be posted a little bit later. Check it out with Tyler. Tyler, minute left. Closing thoughts. Anything on the top of your mind? It's future supply chain. What are you most excited about?
I'm excited to actually learn more about the supply chain side and all the technology that's here. I'm very excited about that. There's lots of new things that are happening. The market looks like it's, looks like it's coming back. Maybe. All right. Well, I'm being hopeful. But yeah, no, I'm excited about it for sure. Looking forward to 2025.
Definitely. That's the magic question. So we're going to keep, I'm going to let the other sonar experts over there, they keep me cloistered on this stage right now, but it's the same way. Are we there yet? So we know that we'll be there in maintenance and solutions. Really awesome stuff. That's going to be a wrap for this episode of Loaded and Rolling, but don't worry, folks. We'll be back tomorrow as well for another one. So you're going to get like double the action. Really great stuff. We're going to catch you all tomorrow. Join us. We'll do it live.